Might help if I put the mic down in front of my mouth. Welcome to the Crazy Flyer 175 channel. Today we're going to do a little bit of flying with Spirit Airlines, and we are going to run on down from Myrtle Beach down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This should be a pretty fun one. Two airports I'm not particularly familiar with. I think I've been to both of them. Maybe not Fort Lauderdale. I know I've been to Myrtle Beach in the last year, but anyways. Should be a fun flight for us. We're going to be flying the Airbus A319. Once again, this is the A319 by Tolis and the Spirit Airlines livery standby one. I forgot to pull up my credits list here to tell you who made the livery. Give me just 1 second here. Where is it at? There it is, Flight Sim. So Spirit livery is by 19 Adam 99. 19 Adam 99 is the one who made the beautiful big yellow bus for us. I did notice, the winglets don't have the yellow on them. It by stock comes with the wingtip fences. I haven't flown with the sharklets yet, so I decided to go ahead and just change that up just for fun today, and we'll try those out and see if we like the sharklets or not. But anywho. Let's jump into the airplane. So a couple of new additions to the mod. I installed a new plugin called, I think it's called XP Realistic. Yep, and so what this mod does, actually while I'm thinking about it, let me make sure a couple things I just need to get set up in this mod. Okay, good. Basically what it does, it just adds some effects to the camera that, moves it around a little bit. Gives a little bit more of a realistic feeling, especially like with landings and takeoffs, you see vibrations and you kind of judge, how firm my landings are going to be. Maybe that's not a good thing, but anyways, so that's what we got going on. But yeah, we're in the Airbus today. So I just got started. I got the flight plan on file already, so that's already done. Make sure extend with disable. There we go. Make sure track IR is going to work. Yeah, it is. All right. Yeah. Anyways, so. Here's our release. We already got it filed, like I said. Let's see, I need to pull out my checklist. I think I already got all my pre-flight originating, checklists done here. Let me pull that out. I actually didn't run it yet, so we'll do that with you guys. My Airbus 319 checklist. All right, power on checklist, mass switches. Actually, all that's already complete. Well, actually, let's just make sure mass switches are off, much selector is normal, landing gear lever is down. Oh, they're already closing up the airplane. I wasn't ready to go yet. We haven't even gotten fuel. Can't be closing the cargo door before we get our fuel. Because I had to reset the airplane. I forgot about that, so we're going to reopen that. We'll let them close up the baggage door. Let's see, landing gear lever is down, flap lever matches the actual, bus bolts were good. We already did that. Park brakes on, brake pressure is good, and AC power has been established. Alright, that's all done, so now we're just going to go ahead and run some flows. So we need to figure out how much fuel we need and make sure we got the airplane all properly fueled up. So let's see here. Oops, where is that? There we go. Now we got them both up here. Alright, so let's see. Let's go to the next, no, 2 pages previous for the fuel. So we need to depart the gate no less than, well, have at the gate, I should say, no less than 16,000 pounds. And we're actually, I think we are already above. Yeah, we're already at 17.2. Okay, well, we definitely won't need to fuel up then. Passenger load, though. 120 passengers. And yeah, that looks pretty good to me. We'll go with that. Does it tell me how much cargo I have? I don't think it does. Yeah, it doesn't really. Alright, we'll go with that. And alright, so loading is done. Now we're just going to set up the box. So let's see, it should have already pretty much loaded in our flight plan for us. Since I didn't have it set to save. The only thing I think we're going to need to load is our arrival. Let's see, yeah, so we got Myrtle Beach, direct Charleston, Then direct cut, join in Q97 to the Primus intersection. And then from there, we actually join the CUDA 1, so that's what's not loaded in there yet. We don't have a departure here out of Myrtle Beach, so we don't need to worry about that. There it is, CUDA 1 arrival, and that's going to be loaded off the Primus intersection. Primus? I don't know which way you say it there. Okay, so now we should see Q97, I guess to, well, yeah, it's still to Primus, and then we join the CUDA 1, and that looks good, going all the way down to Fort Lauderdale. And I'm sure, you know, as we get closer, we'll get the runway and all that loaded in. Yeah, okay, that is set. Let's see, runway coming out of here, though. We don't have to load a departure, but we do need to at least have runway. Let's see what the weather's doing. We are live on VATSIM. There is no air traffic control currently for Myrtle Beach. I'm kind of hoping, there's a lot of activity in South Florida. Kind of hoping, fingers crossed, maybe there'll be controller by the time we get down there. Let's see, so here out of Myrtle Beach, though, winds are out of the west, 6 knots, 10 miles, clear skies, temperature 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 21 Celsius. And yeah, so we'll be departing to the west here out of Myrtle Beach. Here's our, I was thinking the runway we're in, east-west, it runs north-south. Okay. Well, winds are 270, so really we can go either way. I say for time's sake, we'll just go with runway 18 departure here out of Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach, departure, runway 18. No SID for us today, we'll just insert that. Alright, so we got Myrtle Beach, and then the rest of the flight plan is as was previously set. Alright, so we got flight plan. We got the init A done, still need to do init B. So 0 fuel weight, we'll grab this off here. 0 fuel weight's gonna be 127 point, we'll round up, call it 127.6. And departure CG, or excuse me, 0 fuel weight CGU 28.8%. That's in there. Block fuel, they gave us 16.0 is a block. Which actually, you know, I'll have to look into this. I don't know if block fuel, if they mean what's planned or what you actually have on board. So I can say that we were actually overfueled by about 1,000 pounds. Real life, you'd have to, at least my company, you'd have to talk to dispatch about that. Let's see, so that's all good. Alternate fuel, I guess we'll throw that in there, 3.5. And estimated time for the alternate, 36 minutes. I'm guessing that's the format they're looking for. Oh, okay. Oh, so you can't autofill that. That's right, it's not blue, so I must need to, yeah, I'd have to put in the alternate somewhere else. But anywho, we'll go with that. Let's get enough for me. Oh, alternate right there. How about that? KM. That's Orlando. There we go. Now I'm guessing if we go to init B, yeah, it's got the alternate information there. Okay, good deal. Alright, init B's done. Now we just need to do perf. So let's see. Our runway here out of Myrtle Beach. How much runway we got to work with? Pretty long, 9,000 feet, so flaps 1 will be sufficient. We can do flex takeoff, and so I'll give us 138, 142, and 144 is set. Packs on, flex 73. And let's see, that's gonna be a flaps 1 trim up 0.1. Okay. And engine out, acceleration 710 feet, thrust reduction is going to be at 1210. That all looks good to me. Alright, I think we got that done. Now we're just going to do some flows here and get the AP running. Everything else set up a little bit more. There we go. Waiting on the APU door to open anytime now. There you go. AP, or flap, I guess is what they call it. Alright, APU's coming up. Oh, that's funny. And now the sound effects start back there. They had already closed the door like they were done board. A little quirky. Alright, I think, let's see. We're just waiting for the APU to come up. Otherwise, I think we got everything else configured out on the overhead. As far as I can see, the non-real world Airbus pilot. That's 0.0. Alright, let's go ahead and run our checklist before we start to the line. Let's see, actually I need to write down my fuel numbers here real quick just so I got them ready to go for later. So when I set up on the physics paper I write down, fortunately I don't really have a way to show this to you guys. But what I do is I'll have a sheet of paper with me, and I do this real world as well. Upper left hand corner I have my flight number and departure gate. Upper right hand corner I put in two fuel numbers. I put in the first one on top is I put in my planned fuel at the gate, which in this case is 16,000 pounds. And then the next one I write down is the minimum fuel at takeoff. Just prior to takeoff, we verify that we've still got enough fuel on board in case we have a long taxi or something like that. And so in this case it's 15.6. That goes in the upper right hand corner. And then in the bottom left corner I always write my arrival gate. And if I need a ramp frequency for that gate, I'll write that down at the bottom as well. And then of course, you know, I write down my clearance and ATIS and all that. So in this case, we're kind of self-clearing. We're cleared as filed to Fort Lauderdale. We're going to climb and maintain 36,000 feet, which is our filed altitude. I'm not going to bother with step climbs today since we don't have controller. Our departure frequency will be 122.8. Because we don't have controller, we'll just be on CTAF, and we'll squawk 1200. Which, speaking of which, I still need to get that set up. 1200. There we go. And we'll just go to TARA, because why not? A little less work to do later. Alright, now we're ready to run my checklist. Before start to the line, ramp fuel, verify 16 planned, 17.2 is on board. ADRs are set to nav, exterior lights are set, ECS panel set, fuel panel is good. We can actually bring the AP bleed on. Yeah, we'll just connect the external power now. Fuel panel is set, engine fire tests are complete, ND and terrain on ND is set. Actually, we'll bring constraints, and yeah, we'll keep it in arc mode. Anti-skid, nose wheel steering switch is on, MCDU flight plan is set. MCDU perf is set, MCDU radnav is set, we don't have anything we need. MCDU init ND is done, and departure briefing is complete. Which I didn't really say it, but it's just going to be direct to our first point at Charleston up to 36,000 feet. If we have an engine failure, it'll be straight out troubleshoot, and we'll bring it back on here to Myrtle Beach, but also go down Charleston if we need to. Anyways, to the line is complete, guys, so we are ready to get rocking and rolling. I guess I got everybody boarded up already. We'll go ahead and get the door closed up, and we'll be on our way. Let's make sure. I don't know why it loves to blank out my screens when I go to winded mode on the controller panel. Alright, that is set. They got the door closed. Alright, we'll see you guys down in Fort Lauderdale. You can come on now. And I think we're ready for pushback, guys. Let's go ahead and run before we start checklist below the line. Doors and windows are closed, locked, shoulder harness on, cell phones are off, red beacons on, transponder set TIRA before takeoff checklist is complete. or excuse me, after start, before start checklist complete. I think I might have said before takeoff. Before start checklist complete. Now we're ready to push.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Alright. That's all done. Oh yeah, I never set the altimeter, did I? It's 3029, nice high pressure. Had some good gusty crosslinks on my last trip. Low pressure system kind of pushing through cold front. Some fun weather to deal with.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Very connect. Show you the cam views. I also did install, and I forgot to mention this, I installed, I think it's just called airport enhancements or something. Basically, it's just new texture files for the runways, taxiways, and aprons. And I think also look pretty good. It's just a little bit more realistic look to the sim. This airplane is rocking the IAE engines, so I'll get to enjoy that sound pack. So I will admit, with the BSS sound pack, there's actually 3 different folders.
So connected and bypassed and inserted. Release parking brake.
Alright guys, park brake is off and you're clear to push.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Roger that. Engine 1, lead coming up. But anyways, so what was I saying? Yeah, so there's 3 different folders for the IAE engines, like just slight variations in them. And I have to admit, I need to get a little more detailed and look up, be accurate with these IAE engines, which airlines use which specific model. But I don't know if anybody pays that much attention to detail anyways. Alright, we're going to spin it, engine 1. Fuel truck is right in our way, isn't he? It's okay, he'll just drive through us. That's what fuel trucks do. Don't try that in real life. Wonder if the tug's like legitimately stopping for the fuel truck, or because I know he's gonna stop somewhere around here and start kind of pulling us forward. Alright guys, we gotta get started on engine 1. We'll go ahead and start up engine 2 while we're at it.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Alright guys, park brake is set. You're clear for the disconnect.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Roger. Alright, we gotta get start on engines 1 and 2. The APU bleed off. Go ahead and shut down the APU now as well. Give him the disconnect signal out the window. Now we're just waiting for him to get the tow disconnected.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Have a good day, guys. Alright, there goes our tow. No tow bar, no strap for this one. It's one of the kind of scoops the wheel. Alright, he's giving us the thumbs up. And we're good to go, guys. Let's see, we go flaps 1. Arm those up. Hot brake max. And with both engines running, we can go ahead and just do our flight control test here. Less for us to do on the taxiway. Alright, and flight control test is complete. Let's go ahead and run our after start checklist. Engine mode selector is set normal. Speed brakes armed. Rudder trim 0. Flaps lever set 1. Pitch trim actually is not set. Alright, there you go. Set, or no, it's 0.1 nose up for today. Pitch trim set 0.1 nose up. Anti-ice engine off, wing off, and after start checklist is complete. Alright guys, we are ready to taxi. We'll bring the taxi light on. And let me just verify, make sure there's no ATC around current area. Make sure the radio, yep, got the green TX. And TX pilot here by ATC. Charleston approach. I don't think we'll need to communicate with him. I'm gonna look at that spy real quick. I know we're fairly close. I think we'll be well above Charleston by the time we're out there. Yeah, I'm guessing we'll probably be at least 20,000 feet by the time we're getting over top his airspace there out of Charleston. Heck, I should have departed from Charleston. That would have been more fun. I didn't know somebody, I mean, there's only one airplane coming out of Charleston. I didn't figure he'd be doing that. There's a few going into Fort Lauderdale. I got about 4 out there on arrival right now, looks like. Ironically, no ATC. Anyways, park brake release. Here we go, guys. Brake track IR on. Departing south, so we're going to make a right-hand turn out of here. So cabin report is green, and we'll go ahead and run our taxi checklist here. We're ready to go. Taxi checklist, APU bleed is off, APU is off, flight controls have been checked, auto brakes set max, takeoff config checked, cabin ready, takeoff memo is all green, brake temperatures are also in the green, and cool, and taxi checklist is complete. Myrtle Beach traffic, Spirit 126 is taxiing runway 18 via taxiway Alpha, Myrtle Beach. Alright. So I gotta get used to the EBR gauges with the IAE engines. You know, the airplane I fly, we have N1 is our primary, you know, engine power setting gauge. This airplane uses EPR, engine pressure ratio. A little bit different, so it's going to remember we're looking for a 1.291 is going to be our takeoff thrust setting we'll look for when we set toga, or in this case setting flags. Alright guys, we are out here to the end of the runway. We'll go ahead and let's do our before takeoff checklist. Min fuel, verify 15.6 is required. We got 16.9 on board. Transponder TARA, FMA indicating nav climb. Runway, verify 18. We'll confirm that up here with this, not this red sign right here, but the next one. And with runway 18 verified, before takeoff checklist is complete. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and line up the airplane. Check final here real quick. Myrtle Beach traffic, Spirit 126 taking off, runway 18 will be south departure, Myrtle Beach. Pause track IR up here for a second. It's hard to flip switches when the camera keeps moving around. Alright, there we go, that's all done. You guys ready to go? I'm ready. There's 1,200 feet. There we go, thrust climb set. Go ahead and bring the autopilot on. We're going to pull this up and we'll go direct to Charleston. As the airplane accelerates, when we hit that little S right here on our airspeed indicator, we'll retract the flaps and slats. Alright, there it is, and flaps are coming up. Takeoff checklist. Landing gear is up, flaps are up, APU off. Anti-ice not required. After takeoff checklist is complete. Looks like Charleston's actually already offline, so don't need to worry about that. As it turns out. those IAE engines, and they look pretty nice. Alright, turn the X-plane down just a little bit. This is a loud airplane, especially with the BSS sound pack. I actually find I have to turn the volume down like almost half in my, like, you know, just the Windows volume mixer. But yeah. Hey, sucking schnitzel. Ah, Spirit, the flying Walmart with Walmart people on it. Yeah, I kind of agree. You know, anytime you hear about you know, crap going on in the airlines, about half the time it's Spirit. 310. Yeah, I've known a few guys who actually fly for Spirit, and as a company to work for, it's actually not bad. At least on the pilot side, you know, at least we get to lock the door behind us, you know, and all we have to do is get the, move the metal, so to speak, just get the airplane there safely, and that's all our job really is. Yeah. I feel bad for their gate agents and their flight attendants sometimes. I'm sure that's probably a tough job. Also disarm our ground spoilers. Yeah, so the captain I was flying with on my last trip, we were talking about Spirit, and so he had a security incident one day that he had to call the airport police for in Detroit. It was kind of funny. It took the police like 30 some odd minutes to show up, I guess, but you know, he asked him why it was taking so long. He's like, well, we don't really leave the police officers over here very often. They're always over at the other terminal where Spirit's out of. Apparently they have something like, I mean, again, this is not confirmed, but you know, the guy was saying, I guess they have like 15, or that day they had like 15 security incidents involving Spirit Airlines, so yeah. Alright, let's see, we're airborne. Let's take a look and let's see what's going on in Fort Lauderdale. Let's see, latest weather out of Fort Lauderdale, we got wind 070, 13 gusting 21 knots, 10 miles, visibility, few clouds, 4,100 feet, 82 degrees Fahrenheit or 28 degrees, and altimeter 3017. So we'll probably be landing to the east down there in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, remember in the old days, back when flying was a luxury? Nowadays feels more like a Greyhound bus ride. Yeah, isn't that the truth, you know? You know, it's kind of funny, you know, whenever I travel and I'm, you know, not in uniform, if I'm just going somewhere on my own, you know, I'll usually dress like business casual. And it's funny because I swear I have been upgraded to like first class. Like if they have seats left in first class and they need to move somebody for weight balance or something like that, I've actually had to move me just because I dress like, you know, business casual, look presentable. They were willing to move me up to first class or, you know, economy plus or whatever. You know, just because I look nice. You know, but you do see a lot of people nowadays that travel in PJs. You know, just kind of the normal way of things. Yeah. I've never actually personally flown I've never ridden on a Spirit flight, so I've never witnessed the horror stories. Let's see if it's really that bad. Alright, let's see. So landing east down there in Fort Lauderdale. Let's see what approaches we got. Actually, we need to take a look to pull up the arrival chart for Fort Lauderdale. We can go ahead and close all the Myrtle Beach stuff. We don't need that. let's see, our arrival, what were we on? We're on the Cuda. Alright, so here's our arrival. I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to pull it up in the window so it's a little easier for us to read. So we do have a speed restriction, send via Mach number until intercepting 280, maintain 280 until slowed by the star. Okay. So, come down here, see if our airplane has that restriction in it or not. I don't believe it does. But what we can do is up here at the first waypoint of Primus, up here we can go ahead and just insert a 280 knot speed restriction. And then the airplane should do that for us. The speed constraint 280 knots. Confirm that it still looks good off Primus. I like it. We'll insert that. So now the airplane will make a slow down to 280 for us when we join the arrival. Let's see. So we'll be on this transition. We'll start at Primus, going to Church, Jaipod, Copen, Roseanne, Kulat, 2. And Wilcox. So let's see, we got an Airbus 24 there at what intersection? That Kulat. See, top descent. There it is, Kulat. Yep, we got 260 and speed restriction. Mach A2 all the way. Then plunge and maintain. I agree with that. I'm in the mood to fly fast. Yeah, you fly Delta in the US. Delta is definitely the best, I think, from the passenger experience. You know, they still get issues here and there, but you know, by and large, they're not bad. Delta definitely has a culture to try to, you know, make the passengers feel welcome and try to, you know, have customer service. And the same definitely can't be said for almost all the other airlines. United sometimes I feel like will give you a pretty good experience. American, not very often, in my experience. Unless you're willing to pay for it. Let's see, Wilox 270. That's kind of odd that it's wanting to slow me to 260 there. That's kind of goofy. Oh, it's because of the speed limit. Okay. We shouldn't. Well, we shouldn't. That doesn't make sense. Because Kulat's at or both 240. I know. We'll see if it'll do it. I'm still new to the whole Airbus logic. I'm an Embraer guy. Let's see, Mackle 26011. Just curious, what's it have in there for that? Yep, it's got that in there. Okay. Embra. Yeah. Let's see. We're gonna go ahead. So let's see. The northernmost runway in Fort Lauderdale. There it is, 28 right. I can believe that. So we'll plan runway 28 right for our arrival today. Let's do the ILS 28 right. Let's go ahead and load that into the flight plan as well here. So we're gonna go arrival, ILS 28 right, and we'll have. I think we have to reload the star in my experience to get it to work right. Let's see. I don't think we're gonna do any VIA unless they got maybe the fuzzy waypoint. They don't. So let's do no VIA, and then the arrival. Primus. Let's take a look at that, see if it's how we want it here. Go to plane mode. Alright, so still got Charleston, Kinkat, Jevin. That's all good. So we got the arrival now going all the way out to, looks like Cudaga. I'm guessing that's how you'd say that. or Q-Dog. Yep, Q-Dog for that's your bottom of the arrival, and then we got Fuzzy and Snape for the ILS-28, right? That looks good to me. Go ahead and activate that. Let's see here, in it, or not in it, perf, there we go. And for the approach, we won't put the speeds in or anything quite yet, but we'll get the MDA, which is our DA on the approach. It's going to be 260 rounded up. Let's see, they got pretty good long runways. Yeah, 9,000 feet. I think let's do flaps. No, I haven't practiced a lot actually. Let's do a flaps full landing. I haven't done a lot of them. Alright, so full is selected. That's, well, I guess autofill's RV approach there. And let's see, how much time? We still got a ways to get there. We'll put the weather and stuff later in the flight. Yeah. For now, we'll sit back, relax. Looks like we're going to get a pretty decent ride. Haven't seen any turbulence so far up here. Yeah, it's a smooth day. Go ahead and cut the seatbelt sign off for him. So do you do any flying sucking schnitzel? I'd be careful how I say that one. There's nothing that can go wrong. Yeah, I like the Airbus. It took me, you know, the logic and the automation is a little bit different than what I'm used to. And I'll admit, I still kind of, you know, I mean, obviously this is just a simulator, but I still have a hard time getting used to the way it feels when I'm trying to land it. It's, you know, the Embraer I fly, it's fly-by-wire as well, but it's got like different logic to it. You know, the Embraer, you move the yoke, you know, and it deflects the surface a certain amount, even though it's still fly-by-wire. You know, it's got some like speed on, or whoa, hello. That was a pretty good gust of wind there. But yeah, the Embraer, you know, it feels more like a traditional airplane with the yoke still. You know, it is fly-by-wire, but yeah, the Airbus definitely takes a little getting used to, you know, because you're commanding a roll rate or a pitch rate, and that's just a little different than what I'm used to. So I'm still mastering the landing in the Airbus. Oh, very good. You work for Airbus at Munich Airport. Now it's likely my next job, wherever I go, will probably be working at Airbus, because it seems like most of the companies that are hiring, you know, like all the coworkers at the company I work for, a lot of them are getting hired by like JetBlue and Allegiant, Spirit, and Frontier, and they all fly the Airbus. So it's very likely I'll probably be flying one at some point in my career. Yeah, that was some crazy turbulence, man. Hope the flight attendants are alright back there. Just a monster gust of wind, I guess. Let's see if it stays smooth up there at 36. Maybe I'll try the seatbelts again. So let's see, we're parking today when we get to Fort Lauderdale. We're going to be parking gate number Alpha 3, or no, I lied, gate G1, Alpha 1, Terminal 4. So we'll get a airport charts here. We're gonna pull up parking gates. Let's figure out where that's at. The Embraer I fly is the E-Jet family, so the 170, 175. Alright, so Terminal 4 is on the south side, Gate Gulf 1. So that's right way over here on the corner. So we got a little bit of a taxi when we get there. We'll have to taxi all the way down around for Gulf 1. That's alright though. Yeah, I fly the Embraer 175 mostly. Do fly the 170 quite a bit. It's a good airplane. I like them. They can certainly make you lazy. I do love having the auto throttles. Yeah, this is the Embraer's first airplane I flew real world that has auto throttles, so it's pretty nice to have. Like I said, I think we're going to go ahead and cruise E2. I feel like getting down there quick. So let's do it this way. We'll do 8-1. We'll keep a little daylight between the top of the arc. Yeah, they've got good performance, the Embraers. Honestly, we take them, our company, we take them out of, I think our shortest runway that I've worked on is Key West, Florida. The runway itself is 5,000 feet. It's got a slight displaced threshold on the one side, so it's like, 4,800 foot landing distance, and that airplane handles it like a champ. As long as you don't float the landing, you put it down early, you can, I've had the airplane down to taxiing speed like half of that runway in Key West before. So yeah, as long as you fly it right, the Embraer can sure capable airplane. Yeah, I'm typed, so my type rating covers the 190 and 195 as well, but I've never actually flown those, just because we don't have them at my company. My favorite aircraft, real world that I've flown, I'd probably say it's the Embraer. And simulator though, that's a good question. In terms of airliners, that I've flown on the simulator, this one's probably my favorite now, the Tullis A319. Favorite like GA airplane, probably kind of a toss-up between the Embraer Phenom 300 is pretty fun, and then also the Epic E1000 that they have for X-Plane is really fun. I have actually flown, well, I didn't fly it, but I took a ride once in an Epic LT. That's like a single-engine turboprop. It's kind of similar to a TBM in terms of like size and stuff like that, but it's got like the 1200 shaft horsepower PT6 engine on it, single engine turboprop, and it goes really fast. But I had the opportunity to ride on one of those once. A friend of mine flew them Epic LT for somebody, like, you know, that owns their own airplane. And so he invited me to go ride along with him one day on a flight. It was a lot of fun. So I'd say real world of an airplane that I've ridden in, that's probably my favorite. It was a really cool airplane. Favorite GA airplane I've flown real world, kind of a toss-up. I'm really a fan of the DA-40. I did a lot of my training in it, and then I worked as a flight instructor for a few years. Got to fly the DA-40 quite a bit, and it's just a really nice airplane to fly. It's easy to handle, you know, it's pretty capable for what it is. Another like small GA airplane that I've flown that I really liked was the Grumman Tiger, Grumman AA5. Pretty fun little, you know, just 4-seat little airplane, but pretty responsive, decently quick for, you know, the size of airplane it is, and a lot of fun to fly. What's your favorite airplane on the sim? The A340 Pulse, that one's just coming out, isn't it? It looks really awesome. I watched a couple of videos on my last trip. I don't know if you follow him. There's a guy who runs a YouTube channel called V1 Simulations. He's an A320 pilot here in the US, but he was flying it, and that looks like such an awesome airplane. You got the Alpha? Nice. Yeah, you know, I don't have any wide-body airplanes for Flight Simulator, but that might just be on my list to purchase down the road. It's that A340. Yeah, it's kind of a shame, you know, I know that 4-engine airliners aren't as efficient, but man, I love seeing those A340s. You know, like when I fly to Kennedy or, you know, places like that, you'll see one once in a while. But yeah, I love the look of the 340. I saw a 380 for the first time since the pandemic began just a few weeks ago. It was actually in Kennedy as well. You know, I hadn't seen an A380 since 2020, and so it's kind of cool to see one again. Yeah, that Toulouse A340 is awesome. Yeah, the 7.5 would be another fun airplane to purchase. I've ridden on a lot of 757s, and that's probably one of my favorites in terms of the passenger experience. Yeah, those things, you know, they're a rocket ship. They got massively powerful engines. Yeah, they can get up and go real quick. They ride pretty nice too. Like when I'm a passenger, I feel like I always have a smooth ride in a 7.5. But yeah, that'd be a fun airplane to fly in real life. Kind of going away here in the U.S. I think Delta's, well, maybe United might still have a couple, but I think Delta's really the only company still hanging on to the 7.5s. Hey, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. I love those IAE engines. They look so good on the Airbus, in my opinion. All right, I'm gonna go outside view for a second. I'll turn the volume down so I don't deafen everybody. Yeah, those are some pretty awesome looking engines. You know, the IAE, it kind of just has like that more classic, you know, airliner look to them. I know the geared turbofans, high bypass is way more efficient, but I'm still kind of an old school guy. I still love seeing the old, like, you know, smaller engines. I think they look better on the jets. Yeah, I love that sound you get on takeoff. I guess you can kind of get it here at cruise a little bit, at least as fast as I'm going today. But yeah, I don't think I've ridden an airplane that's a Neo yet, so I don't know if I prefer them yet or not. I'm trying to remember it because there's a couple of engines for the Neos. I know they've got the CFM Leaps. What are the other engines they offer on the Neos? I'm gonna look that up right now. My airplane trivia for the day. Oh yeah, the Pratt & Whitney. Pratt & Whitney 1100, okay. Okay, so yeah, the Pratt & Whitney and the LEAP 1 Alpha. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Well, and I guess the reason I haven't ridden the Neo, you know, usually if I'm riding in the back of an airplane, it's one of, like, it's either American, Delta, or United most of the time. I think only American's got a Neo so far. Delta and United don't have the Neo yet. American's got some 321 Neos. Yeah, Spirit's got the Neos as well. I know Spirit, Frontier, and yeah, Spirit and Frontier are the two that really have a lot in the US. I hardly ever fly. I may have ridden Frontier once. I've never flown Spirit though. Well, I know JetBlue has some as well. They've got again, I think it's the 321 Neos JetBlue has. I know. The engines are so big, you know, it's almost like a section of the fuselage. The short little airplane with big fans sitting under the wing. Especially when you compare them like to the airplane that that I fly, the Embraer 175, it's actually got pretty small radius engines, you know, compared to the fuselage. So, I mean, they're decently efficient engines. The GE, what are they, the CF34, I want to say. But yeah, those engines look pretty small compared to the airplane. I kind of wish, I do admit, I like the looks of the new Embraer E2s, the 195 and the 175 E2s, but unfortunately the U.S. regional airlines, you know, because of scope requirements, because the Embraer E2s have higher takeoff weights, it doesn't fit within the scope clauses that the major airlines have, and so they won't purchase the Embraer 175 E2s, even though they're more fuel efficient and it would cost them less money to operate. They won't buy them because they don't fit within the scope clause that their pilot unions have. Just because they can take off a slightly heavier weight. But I would love to fly the Embraer E2s. Let's see, how we doing? We're still over 100 miles from our top of descent. That's it's kind of funny as the airplanes get newer, they get heavier, but they still get more fuel efficient. I guess, you know, the bigger engines, it makes sense why they're heavier. Let's see. So now that we're getting a little bit closer, go ahead and finish our preparations for approach, and we'll go ahead and brief it up and everything. Alright. Next phase. Alright, the approach. QNH is going to be 3017. Temperature is 29er now. It's getting a little warmer down there. 84 degrees Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Winds, we got 070 at 15 with some gust factor in there. And let's see, MDA we already got set. We're going to be landing flaps full just because I want to practice that today. Let's see here. The approach 138. Because of the gust factor, I might go ahead. So we got a 7 knot gust factor, a little bit of an angle. I'm going to add just a few knots to that. The approach speed, just so we can manage the gust factor. Hashtag auto land. You know, I actually have not tried the auto land yet in this airplane. I need to go read about it a little bit more before I try it. Make sure I set everything up properly. It's an Airbus. Isn't that the truth? You know, I kind of laugh at it because, like, you know, my airplane, the Embraer, you know, if you kick off the autopilot and auto throttles, you know, it just says autopilot, auto throttle. It gives you a little flashing on the FMA and then it goes away. The Airbus, you know, if I turn the auto throttle off, I laugh at this, that you get an actual caution message. Airplane's like, wait, that's not right. You know. I just, you know, I laugh at that being an Embraer guy. Auto flight, auto throttle off. Oh, now it won't clear. Now the airplane's really upset with me. Yeah, very different philosophies. Like I said, I'm still new to the Airbus though. Is there a way to clear that ECAM message? Well, the auto throttle's back on now. Or green lock. Oh, I see now. That makes sense. Press clear. Got it. Still new to this. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead and let's brief our approach here into Fort Lauderdale today. So we got the arrival in here. We already got speed restriction and everything else set up. Where's my arrival? There it is. So we're going to be following the arrival down to the Q-Dog intersection at 4,000 feet, so our bottom altitude, to descend via. We'll set that up here a little bit later. Approach is going to be our ILS approach, runway 28 right in Fort Lauderdale, 11-4's plate, IUDL 110.7276 actually. I did not set these up yet. I don't know if you have to hard tune these. I assume the Airbus will auto tune them for you, but just out of habit, I tend to always verify it anyways. Let's see, 276 for the course. We'll set that up both sides here. 110.7 and 276 course. Alright, we got that set up. 2000 at Snape is our final approach fix, going down to 257, rounded up to 260 in the MDA. Touchdown zone 7 feet. MSA around Fort Lauderdale VOR is 2,100 feet. In case we have to do a published missed approach, climb to 800 feet. Climbing right turn to 4,000 on the Fort Lauderdale 305 outbound to the Ukuk intersection and hold. Continue climbing, hold to 4,000. DMA radar is required. Simultaneous approaches are authorized. BGSI and ILS glide path are not coincident. We'll be looking for a PAPI to the left-hand side of the runway with an LSAR approach lights. 4,000 RVR is required. We've got greater than 10 miles visibility down there today. After we land, we're going to take the first available left-hand turnoff. We'll probably be down here at like Bravo 6. You know, if we really want to let it go with a nice smooth touchdown, take Bravo 4. We'll come back on Bravo, and then we'll probably take Echo to Golf, and then Tango 7, Tango, and into the ramp. Kind of snake our way down there. We're parking over here, the very bottom southeast corner of Terminal 4. And I think that is all that I've got for our approach brief. Let's see, top of descent's coming up here just about 80 miles after the Jaipod intersection. Alright guys, I think we're coming up, I think that might be Cape Canaveral. Maybe we've already passed it, I don't know. I'm not an expert on Florida geography. Yep, that is Cape Canaveral coming up, so that's where NASA launches all the rockets and stuff. Must not be one going on, or no rocket launches today if they're letting us fly over top of it. That would be a cool place to visit. I would love to visit Cape Canaveral, see all that stuff. I did visit once. I visited the NASA facility down in Houston. It's a little bit like southeast of Houston. I think it's in like Pasadena, Texas. That one's pretty cool though. You know, they took us on a tour of like Mission Control. They showed us the room where Mission Control was when like Apollo 13 happened. All the old computer screens and stuff. It was pretty awesome to see it. You know, and then they have, you know, obviously a space shuttle, Saturn V rocket. It was pretty awesome to see those up close. Check out the passenger V's for a minute. I love the effects that they have, like the engine exhaust, how you can see like the shimmering that comes from it. That's a really cool touch. Let's take a look here. I'm just going to make sure. I don't think we had any ATC going on down here in Florida. Jacksonville actually just came online, Jacksonville approach. But I don't see anything down in South Florida. Actually, it's kind of quiet now. There's only only a couple airplanes now inbound Fort Lauderdale. There's a British Airways. Kind of come from the south. That's kind of interesting. British Airways 903 Juliet. Landing at Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, he's about the only other traffic. He's actually going to beat us to the airport, it looks like. Otherwise, pretty quiet day. I need to come out here. I should probably get on X-Plane one of these nights at like the prime time, you know, like 5 to 7 p.m. I bet there's a lot more controllers on about that time. Alright, well, we got our top of descent coming up. We're just going to descend via our arrival here, so our bottom altitude, like I said, is going to be the Q-Dog intersection here at 4,000 feet, the runway 28 right transition. We'll go ahead and we'll set 4,000 feet on the altitude selector. Do a little flyby shot while we're cruising along here. Listen to those beautiful engines fly by. Have to get some cool shots for the thumbnail later. Alright, top descent's coming up here pretty quick here, just about 20-ish miles, 30 miles. Oh no, less than that, 15 miles. So I'm going to ask this question. So if you want to have it automatically begin the descent, is there a way to do that, or do you have to push in the knob? So as I recall, I think I tried it once, and I actually had to, click in the altitude knob to actually get it to begin the descent. But I'm not sure if it automatically begins at the top of descent or not. Again, I'm still pretty new to the Airbus. A little bit of or maybe a little bit of chop out here. We'll watch it here. Let's see if the airplane begins the descent or not. You just press the knob. So like if I do it here, will it maintain altitude until the top of the descent, or does it begin down now? Well, I guess, technically if you get it to descend via, you could just click it at the beginning anyways, because it would begin the descent. So when it goes into managed descent, I guess it defaults to about 1,000 feet per minute until it intercepts the vertical path, and then follows that down. Then that's where you get this symbol here that's showing you where it's going to intercept your planned vertical profile. Gonna turn the seatbelt sign back on for top of descent. If it's anything like what's coming out, we might get some gnarly turbulence. We'll see. Let's see, any later weather out of Fort Lauderdale? I think we're on the latest weather right now. Yeah, 1553, that's the latest status, or METAR report. Yeah, that's very true. Well, if I pull it out and go into open descent, this thing will come down really quick up here. Because open descent, it just it basically becomes speed on elevator mode, so it'll command the thrust to idle, and it'll pitch for the speed if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Let's see here. So our first constraint on the arrival is the Colat intersection, 280 knots above flight level 240. Yeah, it's like flight level change mode on the Embraer. close to our transition level. Will be at flight level 180, and our altimeter is 3017. Bit of chop up here. And some occasional light bumps. Might need to use the speed brakes to help it slow on this descent. We'll see. Maybe not. Let's see, where's our British Airways at? We'll look at the bad spy program here. So he is pretty close. Actually, we might end up arriving about the same time in Fort Lauderdale. He's still a little bit closer, but he's a little bit further west, and I'm assuming he's going to land the same direction that I am, so he's going to have to come out to the east and then turn around to land to the west. So we actually might end up getting there about the same time. I still think we'll be just a little bit behind British Airways, but I'll at least go ahead and I'll throw a message out there just so that he's kind of aware that we're descending. As we get closer to the airport, we'll actually make radio calls on VATSIM. Alright guys, coming through flight level 190. I'd say that's close enough. We'll go ahead and set 3017 on the altimeter. And let's run our descent checklist. Descent check's fast bell sign is on, altimeters 3017 is set. ND and terrain on ND is set as desired. MCD flight plan is set. MCD RadNav page is set, and landing perf page is set. Approach briefing is complete. Descent checklist is complete. Gear out, speed brakes, full flaps, and dive. That's always fun to do. We had one time, this is maybe 2 months ago over the summer. So we had just kind of a really bad weather day, and so the dispatcher was concerned about us having enough fuel, so he gave us a lot of fuel because we were thinking we were going to get this really long reroute. And we ended up not getting the reroute, but we had all this fuel, and we're on our descent into our home base, and we were above landing weight, or we were going to be above landing weight at our time of arrival. So it was like we had to try to fly inefficiently. And that's kind of what we did. We descended early, put the, as soon as we were below our gear speed, passing through 10,000 feet, put the gear down, put the flaps out early, the whole airplane. We kept our speed up though because we wanted the drag, because we needed to burn fuel to get under landing weight. But it's kind of funny, a couple passengers were like, that felt really weird. It was so loud. We were coming into land, and we're like, yep. Had to make some noise. had to get the airplane to burn some gas. But that's always kind of fun to do. These airplanes, man, it's amazing how much drag they really have, when they're configured. It is a lot of drag. We actually, I've talked to guys who've had to do repositioning flights. Yeah, better safe than sorry. That's very true. We've had guys that have had to do repositioning flights where maybe they have an issue with the landing gear system, and so they're going to ferry the airplane to another, airport to get the repairs done, but they have to fly with the gear down, and it's like, normally we'll fly, 400, to 500 knots ground speed, and the Embraer, we've got a range normally like of oh, okay, so it looks like British is gonna land 10 left. Okay, landing with a bit of tailwind, but oh, you know what, he's right, 070. I play on the wrong runway, guys. Hang on, story's on pause. We need to land 10 left. Oh, I'm an idiot, guys. I almost landed with 15 knot tailwind. That would have been terrible. That landing would have been really crappy. All right, let's get the correct runway thrown in there. I can't believe I did that. All right, we got to work fast. Let's do the flight plan first, just so that this is set up right. We need to land 10 left, not 2 8 right. I totally planned the wrong arrival. 10 left. Cuda 1. No via. And via, we're already inside of it. We'll still just load off Primus. Let's do that for now. I'm hoping this isn't going to make the airplane go crazy, but we'll see. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Alright, so we're direct to Myrtle right now. So we're going to go boop, heading mode, activate, direct to Myrtle. There we go. Direct. And back into management. Okay, crisis averted. We got the correct runway in there. I can't believe I almost made that mistake. That would have been hella awkward. Landing would have sucked. It's probably going to suck anyways, but at least now I got less of an excuse. Alright, so arrival now going to Wayner at 5,000 feet. For the bottom, we got that set. Just, yeah, that looks good. We got Wayner at 5,000. I can see it there. And approach. Arrival. Oh, that one. There we go. Approach 10 left. There we go. That's looking better. Yeah, well, it was like 15 gusting like 22 knots, though. So that might have been a little bit outside the limitation to go up to 22 knots if we hit a gust on the approach. Just blame the autoland. And the wreck on the autopilot. I don't think the company would like that. Alright, so we got the ILS 10 left, 1101-096 now. Let's go to rad nav, get that set. 110-1, 110-1, and 096, 096. There we go. Okay. That's set, so 10 left, 096, 1800 the final, 207 DA. Yeah, we'll change it, might as well. So that'd be 210 rounded up. There we go. Touchdown zone 7 feet, MSA still 2100. If we go miss now, it'll be almost straight out. It's going to be climb to 800 feet. Climb left turn 4000 on the Fort Lauderdale 090 to Marks. Demerators required, simultaneous purchases are authorized. VHSI, Alice glide path, not coincident. Still looking for a PAPI on the left-hand side. Mouse our approach lights probably won't even be turned on. 2400 RVRs required. Now a right-hand turn-off will try for Bravo 7. If not, then Bravo 8, Bravo 9. We'll come back on... The parts come back on Bravo to Quebec, South Quebec. We'll go like Golf and Tango 7 into the ramp. Everything else should be pretty much the same. Let's run our runway change items checklist. Oh, weird. Breaking the speed limit, guys. E250 below 10. That's why. I didn't realize it took me out of managed mode. There you go, guys. Mistakes were made, lessons were learned. Alright, scent checks. We're just going to do runway change items. MCD flight plan set, MCD rad nav is set, landing perf is set, approach briefing is complete, and change items are complete. See, it's moments like that why our airplanes have two pilots in the flight deck still. And we'll just descend and maintain 5, honestly, at this point. Let's just go open descent down to 5. And that's our airport actually out there right off the nose, if you guys can see it there. So I don't think we'll plan on a very long downwind anyways. That'd be okay descending a little early. Let's see, we're below 10,000 feet though. Let's get this configured. Oops, that's the wrong one. There we go. I know, maybe I do want to hit that button after a mistake I just made. Nah. It's not like they'd be listening to the CVR unless I pile up the airplane. Alright. We'll go ahead and make a radio call here. Fort Lauderdale traffic, Spirit 126, entering a left downwind, runway 10 left, Fort Lauderdale. Let's see, since we're not planning a long down one, let's just do open descent down to 3. And there's no sense in going like really quick past the airport. We'll dial our speed back a little bit. Do some speed brake to help us slow. What we'll do, we'll just take our, we'll take the downwind to just outside our final approach fix on the approach. So that's what, Novale? Yeah. A little bit of that vibration you can see there from the speed brakes coming out. Let's see, our altitude at Novale is probably going to be about, yeah, 1,800 feet. We'll bring it down to 1,800. Let's keep the descent coming. Let's see, I'm just going to review my flap speeds again. I don't have these memorized, so 238 for 1, 215 for 2, 195 for 3, and 186 for full. Just make sure I don't break the airplane. It's also got, I love this about the Airbus, they put the little amber double lines there to remind you in case you forget. Let's go ahead and bring it flaps 1. Alright, we're gonna go just maybe another mile or two and then we'll turn base. Bringing it to heading mode, and then what we'll do, so I'm gonna go here. This is the way that I like to do it. I'm gonna take Nove and radial in, so it's 097 inbound, so it'll be a 096 inbound, something like that. Yeah, 096. So we'll do a 276 radial in. That should draw us a nice final approach path out there. And that should work nicely. We'll go ahead and turn base. Fort Lauderdale traffic, Spirit 126, turn on the left base, 10 left, Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, I have, you know, probably out of any airplane I've tried flying yet, I have the hardest time landing the Airbus. We'll see how I do today. I actually went out one day, not on live stream, but I just took an Airbus and did some touch and goes at LaGuardia. Like, I literally did touch and goes in the simulator here with the Airbus just to try to get used to that landing flare. Because, you know, I tend to have a really hard time with it. I tend to over-control it more than anything. I just got to remember, you know, small little inputs and then let the stick go. Alright, we'll set up a little bit of an intercept here for us. That should work out pretty nicely. Alright, we got that set, that's set. Let's see here. Cabin check. Flaps and gear to go. So yeah, we'll see how I do. I'm hoping I can just grease it on, because if you watch all my Airbus videos here on Twitch, none of the landings have been particularly great. Fort Lauderdale traffic, Spirit 126, 10 mile final, 10 left, Fort Lauderdale. Or I guess 10 left. I didn't use very proper phraseology. Alright, there's the localizer. Actually blew through it just a tiny bit. let it kind of get sorted there. We're going to arm approach. There we go. Alright, localizer's there. Glide slope's armed. Alright, glide slope alive. Flaps 3. You're down. Alright, flaps full, speed of approach, and a landing checklist. I know, right? Just let me fly the airplane. Alright, landing checklist, cabin secure, landing gear down 3 green, flaps set full, landing memo, all green, landing checklist complete. The other thing that took me a minute to get used to is the auto throttles on final. You know, because the airplane I fly, we have auto throttles, but it actually physically moves the throttles. And so even when the auto throttles are on my airplane on approach, I've usually got my hand on the throttles making little corrections or inputs, especially if it's like really gusty. Just to make sure I stay on approach speed. And it's like, you can't do that in the Airbus, because if you move the throttles, you know, it'll change the mode, and then you got issues. So I gotta remember not to touch the throttle, or at least not move it at all until I get down, you know, into the flare. Alright, we got 1,000 feet, airplane's configured. Yeah, you can make inputs, but it's just different. Like, it would be weird for me to not have the throttle moving. That's true, I could do that. They typically land with auto throttle though, don't they? Fort Lauderdale traffic spare 126 short final 10 left Fort Lauderdale. Alright guys, I'm gonna take the autopilot. Oh, you wanted me just to let it auto land? I want to master the flare, man. I'm a pilot.
100 above. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
Oh, that was not bad. That was probably my best landing yet. Yeah, we'll take the next one. Yeah, that was pretty good Airbus landing for me, at least. Bring my track IR. Whoops. That's not what I wanted to do. Trying to turn my track IR on, I hit the fast forward button. Fort Lauderdale, Spirit 126, clear the runway, Fort Lauderdale. So my altimeters must not be set correct, because saying we're at 200 feet, the airport should be about sea level. What did I screw up? Maybe my sim's not in real world weather? I don't know. Very bizarre. Oh yeah, we're gonna go taxiing like a drunk guy. There we go. We're gonna go up to Quebec. I forgot about that. That's up here. That's I mean, I could turn into the ramp and just take it around. Let's see, how are the brakes looking? Probably a little on the hot side, yeah. So I'm not familiar with Airbus standard operating procedures, but pretty much do you turn the fans on as soon as you see the brakes getting hot, or do you wait for it to give you the ECAM message? $100 above. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, that didn't... You know, it should have called minimums like way back there. I mean, my altimeter is saying I'm at 250 feet right now, and I'm clearly at sea level. So I don't know what that's about. I wonder if the auto land would have smashed it in with the incorrect. I mean, it probably goes off red alt rather than baro altitude, but yeah, we'll take hotel here actually. Oh, so you actually wait for it to give you the ECAM brakes hot message. Oh, okay. Like shock cooling, basically. We'll turn into the ramp right here and we'll taxi up and around the concourse. Oh, okay. It would oxidize the brakes. That's interesting. This is why anytime you hop into a new airliner, it takes a few months of training to get familiar. What in the world is that? Like a fence around that gate area. It's a little issue with the scenery, I think. Unless that's how they keep the Spirit passengers contained. Just kidding. Oh yeah, I never figured my lines either. Guys, here's our gate area. Ooh, swung that way too fast. All the people in the back are about to start throwing up. And remember to take it nice and slow in the turns. Alright, brake set. Oh, and I forgot to start my APU, darn it. I never did my after landing checklist. Alright, well, we'll shut down engine 2 so that the ground crews can start working on the baggage. I actually did this the other day in real life accidentally. I'm usually really good about remembering the APU in real life. But we were taxiing in the gate area and the ramp controller gave us an instruction. They changed last minute. And then we were watching wingtips and we pulled into the gate, and thankfully the captain looked before we pulled the engines, shut them down. But yeah, I had forgotten to start the APU. And you gotta do the weight of shame. Oops. Yeah, that probably can make a mess. Firing up the engines of the maintenance hangar. Alright, there it is. It's got the electrical load, and here comes engine 1. Alright, beacons off. Bring the AP bleed off for the AC. And we'll run the parking checklist at least. Parking, park brakes on, anti-ice off, engine master switches are off, beacon light is off, fuel pumps can come off, I suppose. And transponder standby, and park checklist is complete. I usually say that and then I'll forget something. But yeah, anywho, let's get the door open. Let people off. Anyways, I think we'll wrap it up there. Actually, the last thing we're going to do, I mean, I can't have a good landing like that and not go watch the replay, so I'm going to drop off the VATSIM network. Let's take a look at that landing, see how I did. Oh, let's see, get you to go away. Yeah, thanks for watching. Feel free to watch anytime. Let's see how this landing looked. Ooh, not bad. Better than I've seen in a while for my landings. I'll take it, guys. Yeah, not too bad. Got the thumbs up. Alright, guys. Well, thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time. Have a fantastic day.